thank you for watching. When there's a movie based on a book, the makers are lying to us if they don't actually make it the movie version of the book. So here are some examples of differences that I've seen or that are unacceptable. The characters should be the same. Don't turn major characters into minor characters. Don't completely get rid of characters. Give them the same personalities too. In the Percy Jackson book series, Percy's 12 years old. In the movie series, he's a lot older. In the book series, he's more shy. He's learning things as he's going along. In the book series, right away, he's already doing airbender stuff with the water and making the water shoot around. No, they should not do that. In Midway to Heaven, they gave the characters completely different jobs. That should not be. Give the characters the same jobs. There's no need to change what jobs people do. They added a dog. I'm nuts about animals. I'm always going to have an animal living with me if I can. If we do not find a canine alternative, a new canine, when my son's hound that my wife is allergic to dies of old age, if we can't find a canine my wife's not allergic to, we're going to have something. Maybe a pet lizard, a parrot. I'm going to have something. I love having an animal around. But I still am disturbed by them adding a dog that wasn't in the book. Let's see. And in the Harry Potter book series, one of the books starts off with the Minister of Magic going to visit the Prime Minister. That was interesting. That was fun to read. That should have been there. Now somebody's yelling at their computer. But, that would have made the movie too long. Well, then make 2 movies. They did that for the last of the Harry Potter movies, the last of the Twilight movies. They broke one book up into 2 when they didn't need to. There wasn't that much there. The books were about the same size as the other ones, so make it all 2 double parts. 2 movies per book if the book was interesting and fun for people to read. You find out there that the, spoiler alert, pause if you don't want your 10-year-old or 20-year-old book knowledge surprise. You find out that the Prime Minister finds out after he becomes Prime Minister that there's magic. But he can't tell everyone because then he'll sound crazy. And the Death Eaters are causing problems that are being accused on him. He is accused of being a bad Prime Minister, and that's why the bridge collapsed. Not that the Death Eaters used magic to destroy the bridge. The movie could have done a better job of letting us know that it was Death Eaters killing the bridge. But that was a fun dynamic, an interesting character to see who was cut out of it. Alright, so, yep, characters should not be changed. Important plot points. So, like how people got somewhere, where they were. That should not change. There's no reason for that to change. Don't add battles that weren't there. Don't take away battles. Yes. So in the Percy Jackson book series, they change how they get to Half-Blood Camp. They change. They added battles that weren't there. They took battles away. In the Twilight movie series, they took battles away. Oh, they changed the big finish. They added battles that were not there in the book that did not need to be there. They took away excitement. They took away Bella shielding everyone, showing her superpower, which is why the Volturi backed down. The Volturi, who they were, you learn about more of the characters, more details about them in the book that would have been fun to see in the movie. And you find out that the Volturi, now there's reasons, but it would be interesting to learn about more of the Volturi in the movie, like there was in the book. So the battle, the Percy Jackson book series, one ridiculous thing about the battle they added to the movie. Here's a 12-year-old kid, they lied about his age in the movie, 12-year-old kid who just now finds out he's got superpowers, he's a half-god. Well, he's not going to get his control of those powers right away. That is ridiculous to think that, to give him those instant powers. In the book, he didn't have them. And in the book, the battles happen differently at the end. And so that's something that shouldn't have been. They cut away the fates. I don't remember seeing the fates at all in the movie. They cut away the character that gave Percy Jackson the pearls. Plot point. There's a plot point that's different. How Percy Jackson got the pearls that got them out of Hades is different in the book and the movie. Where the lightning was hidden, how it was hidden, who was hiding it. You almost never see, or you never see Ares in the movie. He was a big part of the book. They cut out a battle that was in the book between Percy and Ares. Yeah, so they should not, in the Twilight book series, they added a battle at the end that never happened in the book. In the book, the Volturi back down because of Bella's superpowers that they can't defeat. And proof is brought that Renesmee, their excuse they gave for trying to kill Renesmee was her likelihood of killing off so many people that it would prove that vampires exist. So there's a character that's half vampire, half mortal, like Renesmee, that's in... They didn't completely cut him out of the movie. But, wow, they turned him from a significant character that we learn about. We get a short biography of him in the book. That was fun to read. In the movie, he's just there. So that should not change. In the Percy Jackson book series, how they got to Hades, that changed. How they knew where to go, that changed. How they ended up meeting Medusa, that changed. All this stuff changed. It did not need to change. Okay, the reasons the characters do things should not change. The Volturi. They acted for different reasons in the movie and the book. In the movie, they just wanted to kill Renesmee to kill her. That was it. No ulterior motives. No other side effects they were hoping from it. They just wanted to kill her. But in the book, the Volturi had been wanting Edward to become one of them and Jane to become one of them for a long time. And if they kill off everyone else but those two, they can force them to be in the Volturi. And the Volturi hate the Cullens for being vegetarians in the book. Not in the movie. In the movie, they don't care. So... yeah, the reasons for things... in the Percy Jackson book series, you've learned less about Ares' daughter's reasons for doing things and how she gets the boats. That was a fun little fact that they changed. Let me think. Is that the one? Yeah, I think in the second one they cut out a whole part of the book where... Is that the second book? I think it was the second book where Percy Jackson becomes a gerbil. They cut out a whole part of the book where he turns into a gerbil. That was fun to read. That was exciting. They should have made 2 movies if it would have been too long, and that's why they cut it out. The powers should stay the same. Percy Jackson had more powers or more control over his powers in the movie than in the book. It was still fun. I think it was funner to read about a kid slowly learning about his powers instead of when he first finds out he has powers, like within a very short time, being the master of them. In the Twilight book series, we find more about the powers, learn more about the powers in the book than in the movie. There's at least one character that we don't find out anything about his power in the movie, but in the book, he is why the Volturi can stick together. How do you get a big group of people to never, or a big group of vampires, to get along and never break up, and not break up into subdivisions, stay unified? Well, in the book, it's because there's somebody whose vampire superpower is to make relationships work. If you're near him, your relationship will be great. You will have no desires of ending your relationship. And that's what holds the Volturi together. Devices should not change. So the devices should not change. Examples of this in the Percy Jackson book series. Annabelle, who becomes a minor character in the movies, but is Percy Jackson's best friend in the book, and constantly calls him Seaweed Brain or Seaweed Head in the book. Never in the movie did I hear her, I don't remember hearing her call him that even once in the movie. She almost never called him anything else in the book. That was fun. That was a fun character dynamic. A friendly name calling, a nickname for friends. That was fun to read. It would have been fun in the movie to hear her Seaweed Brain, Seaweed Brain, Seaweed Brain, but not even once. But she has a New York Yankees hat that turns her invisible, and it works for others too. So whoever wears a hat becomes invisible. Never saw that once in a movie. I don't remember seeing that once in a movie. There was no invisibility hat. That was a fun little device to see. You learn less in the movie about the Percy Jackson world than you do and less in the movie than you do in the book. In the book, you learn more about how most mortals can't see the gods, and they think they see something else. And the monsters that try to kill the gods and fight the gods, the mortals just don't see them, except for a very small number of them, including Percy Jackson's mom, which explains why she can see his half-brother. It's the half-brother. Percy Jackson has a half-brother in the book series that he meets in a completely different way than in the movie and book. Meets him in a completely different way. They cut out a battle scene. They cut out a battle scene where you find out that the mortals don't see the stuff that and there's things that don't hurt the mortals that kill the gods. So yeah, they cut out a character. They added a device. They had a spray that made Percy Jackson's half-brother Cyclops look like he had two eyes. That wasn't in the book. Why add stuff that's not there? Percy Jackson's sword. It is a pen until he opens it up. In the movie, it is a pen that you push the button. In the book, it's one you pull the cap off of. I don't think there's any excuse for that. The pens that you pull the cap off of, they are not ridiculously expensive. I know, because I buy them. Unless they're only at that price near me and 100 miles from me, they cost thousands of dollars for one of those pens. There's no excuse for that change. Other examples of plot points. You see Percy Jackson at boarding schools in the book. Not living with his mom, living at boarding schools. In the book, he's like living with his mom. So that's an important difference. Let's see. So other examples of I've seen where, so if the device was in the book, it should be in the movie. Make all the devices the same. You don't need to make up devices if the book was fun enough to read. The setting. There are acceptable differences in the setting that I've mentioned in my other video, but they shouldn't change everything. Try to match the book the best you can. Percy Jackson went to school. You see him at school in the book. Why not duplicate that in the movie? The Half-Blood Camp. It's magically protected from the mortal seeing it. In the movie, it looks like a strawberry farm. A house and a field of strawberries. Couldn't they have found a field of strawberries somewhere? If you want the ocean there, since that was on Long Island Bay, if you want the ocean there, okay. Have a field near the ocean. Pick a different kind of farm that's near the ocean. But in the movie, there's no farm. It's just forest, and at some point in going through the trees, you end up in the Half-Blood Camp. Well, why not? Why not just make the farm like it was in the book? I don't think that would be ridiculously expensive to do. Alright, so thank you for watching me rant about the unacceptable differences that would make me say a movie is falsely advertising if it's named after a book. The characters should match up, the plot points should match up. The setting should match up if it's not ridiculously expensive to duplicate. The reasons the characters do things should match up. The powers of the characters should match up. The devices should match up and be the same between the book and the movie. Thank you for watching. You have a good day.